retired rider. Retired rider. Gather round, folks, and listen to my story about John the retired rider. 30 years on the back of a hog. The rest of those years was sitting on a hollow log. Don't get the wrong idea about me. I will explain it the best I can. He's a damn good looking man. He's a hot-blooded American bike rider up in Ohio land. Going as fast as he can.
Yeah, man. There we are. Monday.
Good morning. Hope everybody can hear us out there.
Another Monday.
Man, I do not want to bring up politics, so don't think I am.
Oh,
Listen
boy.
to this. No, did you hear about the governor of Pennsylvania's house? A dude freaking put homemade bombs, and blew it up. And Josh Shapiro, or whatever his name, the governor, fucking burned down the governor's house and everything. Yeah, didn't kill him or his kids or nothing like that. But yeah,
Wow,
crazy
man.
dude. Yeah, they caught the guy finally. Yeah.
Who's he? Is he a Democrat or a Republican?
I don't know who. No, he's
the
Democrat.
governor.
Yeah, he's Democrat.
Why? Why would they want to?
I don't know, man. I've seen it on a story this morning. He was speaking out.
Morning, quick.
And I was like, damn, dude, over the weekend, or it must have happened Friday or Saturday. I don't know. I just seen a glimpse of it, and I was like, what?
Oh, you know, it's going to be a right-wing person, and they're going to
make
a
big
deal out of it, man.
Yeah.
It's going to get up.
But they're firebombing Teslas and dealerships and all that, but it's okay. No Democrat has even spoke and said, don't do that. That's wrong, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, I didn't want to try to bring up that this morning, but I wanted to let you know if you hadn't heard that. Well, it's crazy, dude. Like,
I try my best when I'm having a family weekend to stay out of all that bullshit. Yeah. You know, I don't want to talk about.
But like I said, I turned it on this morning and I seen it, and I was like, what? Wait, what did I miss? You know what I mean? Because I the same. I ain't even had the TV on all weekend, and I was like, what did I miss? Other than watching, the Masters and stuff. That's basically if I wasn't outside. Busy. Rory McIlroy finally won. Yes, after years and years, he's got the green jacket or the gold jacket, whatever you want to call it. It's green, but yeah, I mean, it was intense. Yeah. So it was a good one. But
I'm not a golf person.
Good morning, Grumpy.
Grumpy.
I don't know. I guess you just have to kind of get into it and and do it. Quit.
Yeah. I heard the doggy.
Yeah, her and the cat's going at it. So they felt like it was time to go at it early this morning and quit. She jumps on the cat, and the cat lays down so she can jump on her. And then the cat grabs her and pulls her down. And I guess she don't like it. So, I mean, she's not really hurting her.
I need to buy
so much
suit. Is that what you're saying, Grumpy? I need to buy
a suit. Uh-oh. Dude, I've only wore a suit like once in my life.
Well, the only time I wear dress clothes is either to a wedding or a funeral. So
I don't even have dress clothes. Like, I'll go buy like a button-up white T-shirt or a white shirt if I have something like that, and then I throw it away. Because I don't. Yeah, because I don't wear it, and it would sit in the closet and get dirt or whatever. It would just sit there and never be used. So I don't wear them. I wore one suit, and that was my brother that passed away. That was at his wedding, and I wore a white suit.
White suit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the way he had it set up, it was, it looked good and everything. The way, the men and then the women and. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the only time. And then I was the best man. I was the best man, And then I was the best man for my oldest brother's wedding. And I never wore a suit. They did, but I just wore black slacks, dress, like dress, pants or whatever, slacks with a white button-up shirt and stuff. I never wore a jacket like a suit or nothing like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't be a good politician because I don't like that kind of clothes. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, no, I couldn't wear suits all day.
Well, I should get a call from my boss to start work Friday unless they don't need me anymore. Quick says, well, maybe it's a good thing if they don't need you anymore. Just go ahead and retire and be done with it.
I thought he did retire.
Yeah, I know, but he said he was going back for a few months or something like that.
Yeah, because it kind of either you need money because it's so damn expensive to live no matter where you're at, what you're doing, or it's like you get bored and you ain't got nothing to do and you have to like, okay.
Especially when the weather's like shit and you can't ride or anything.
That's the best time. Just work through the winter, save your money, if you already can retire, save your money and freaking come spring. Be done. Yeah. And that way you got 3-4 months of work pay built up to just kind of take trips and do whatever you want to do, So
I need to get in the shower. Cardio killed me this morning. All right, Grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I want to play, I gotta work. Yeah. Takes money.
Oh yeah. It's
takes money to go play. Got to have cash. Even to just go ride your motorcycle, you got to pay for the gas. You got to pay for something.
Yeah. So other than that, the weekend was kind of chilly. The wind was chilly here, but it was nice. We had a nice weekend. Like I said, I had to redo a fire pit, all that stuff. Today it's going to be 77. I got some things I got to do again outside. I got to see to a couple of things, and I'm telling you, it's like they get right there under my bed and they're like, and just go at it. And I'm like, go in the living room. You got a living room, a hallway, kitchen, everything to play in,
Go down the hall and play.
But they pick right here next to me. You know what I mean? Like they want to be with me.
Because they're pets. They want to be next to you.
That's they want to be right here at my butt and then want to fight. And I'm like, go out there. You got a whole living room. Nobody's even in the living room, Like my kids are up getting ready for school. And go on, get out of here. Get.
Go away.
No, they don't run out. They run under the bed. So anyways, I've got a few things I got to see to today. I got to go get tagged. The tags run out at the end of the month for the motorcycle. So I got to go get it sometime.
What's going on with the motorcycle? You ever figured that out yet?
Yeah, I got some slip-ons and I'm going to put them on.
Gotcha.
I was just waiting for the weather to get nice and just do it myself.
There you go.
So I've got them here in the basement, still in the box and everything. So I brought them home the other day. So I'm just gonna, I'm waiting for a decent day like today or tomorrow or something. I don't know. And I'm gonna get out there and pull them other ones off and go at it. You got
the O2 sensor all fixed.
Yeah, I got the O2 sensors on. So
there you go.
Yeah. So hopefully, knock on wood, that'll go good because I've put on slip-ons before that. It don't take.
Yeah, it's pretty
20 minutes. Yeah. So the only thing is I got a mat that I laid down, like an old yoga mat, a thicker yoga mat, because I'm on the ground, so I don't have a lift or a garage. So I just, I do it right here in the front yard and it's okay. I'll sit here and take my time. Within 20 minutes, I'll have it done or so. And, I went with the guy found me some. I went with the Screaming Eagles. They're 4-inch slip-ons.
There you go.
They're used, but they're not that used. Like I got a pretty decent deal, I think. Originally price is like $550, $600 for them, and so I got them for $225. And they're like really clean, man. Like really clean. Just don't even look like they've been used that long. Look like they got them and probably rode them for a season maybe and bought something different, so upgraded to something else. So they did, they wanted something else. So, he got them out of Florida and and that's what he was telling me. He somebody he knew, and he went to Florida like when I told you he was going to be off that week last week or whatever, and he come back and then he called me. He's like, "Hey, my buddy down there, I got these, pick these up. I thought of you, and I thought, well, I could take them back. He might need them, So I went that route, and so we'll go from there. And if there's any other issues, I'll just have to see to them, see to it or whatever. But
Right.
I've been just trying to go through some stuff. Like I said, I was really just playing around with the GoPro stuff this weekend and trying to pull out all my, because usually in wintertime I got all that stuff in cases and stuff, and I'm not constantly just got it laid out because it's winter. I'm not out filming. I'm not doing that kind of stuff a lot, So I was thinking, well, let's just go through and see what I got, see what I need, if I need anything different. So I'm just basically going through it. When I had some downtime to sit down, I was just fiddling and putting some things together and trying to think about if I really wanted to, because I was, like I said, I ordered a couple of new mounts, a couple of new things for the phone carrier to carry the phone. Yeah. I don't know. I figured maybe if I got a good attachment for the motorcycle, the 360 attachment that attaches on the bike. So, and I was thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe if I decided to, shoot the first video, or shoot a video, I want to be.
Good to see you.
Bud.
Morning. Harley's CEO went bye-bye. So how do you think Harley will do now?
Well, I don't think it matters. I think they're still in a
too late.
ditch. Yeah.
Too late for Harley, man.
I think they're still down spiral a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to completely go away because they won't. Man, they've been in way too long. I just think they're going to struggle until they can get things situated. So, I mean,
it's a struggle for anybody right now. I mean, it's just a struggle.
Oh, yeah. Any kind of business or any kind of, especially stuff like that when you're having to
struggle.
I saw somebody else do a video on it too. Somebody else was talking about it as well. Not just about him leaving, but about like what you were talking about as well. Like,
yeah, it's just Harley's in a spot, but they'll either figure their way out of it or they'll go under and somebody else will buy them or something.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is there's so many out there. You can just look online and buy one, and you ain't even got to go to a dealership. You ain't got to worry about the dealer anymore. You know what I mean? There's so many
aftermarket. You can buy a nice used one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't even have to worry about the dealership. Yeah, you want them to stay in business, but you also want it to be, you can go buy a Harley anywhere pretty much and still find aftermarket parts and still ride, continuously. So I don't think
by a competitor I don't think Indian would buy Harley.
No, they're too because it's not Indian.
That's not Indian anyway. Polaris owns.
Yeah, Polaris owns that, but not just that. It's like I don't think they'd want the responsibility of that. I think
that would be kind of weird for Indian to be such a competitor for a long time to buy Harley. I think that would be.
I don't think anyone wants to. I don't think they'll sell it. They'd have to really get back to that like they did when they sold it to AMF.
Yeah.
So, because they said the AMF years were shit. You know what I mean? The motors were shit. I mean, it was just wasn't a good, time.
I think it's all going to come crashing down for everybody. I think it's all going to crash.
What do you mean?
Out, man.
Like all the businesses are all?
Yeah, I think the whole economy is going to crash. I think it's all going to crash.
Do you think it should and restart?
I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not an economist, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they're saying China's struggling more than just dealing with the tariffs that we have. They're struggling like big. I know, but I'm saying like they're saying like they're in a big hurt right now because Trump put a stop on their big container ship. It's sitting in the ocean, not coming. He put a hold on it. He didn't, because they're not doing something. So
The thing is, you don't have much to do. I mean, the thing is, there ain't much you could do to China because China makes all our shit. So if you mess with China, they'll just stop shipping their stuff. Then what do you do? Then you have nothing.
I seen one guy doing a video. He said he was over there. He said
you don't have no Harleys, you don't have nothing.
He said, look how much stuff I own in my house from America. And he held his hands out. And there was nothing. He said, nothing. He said, look around your house and see how much stuff you own from China. I was like, yeah, everything. And that's the thing. They don't care. They rip other companies off and designs and shit, and they make it cheaper and they sell it.
Yeah. And cheaper it is.
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. Quick Shoe. I've met Ty. I've rode with him a couple of times, I believe. Yeah, good guy, man. Real good guy.
Yeah.
He's got the voice for radio, man. This dude can.
Radio.
His voice is just, I don't know. It would fit perfect for a radio station.
I was told I have the face for radio. Shouldn't be out in the public eye.
Well, I'm hoping that this week my voice will be a little better.
Hey, Brown Chicken, what's happening, brother? Good to see you.
You know, I mean, truthfully,
good to see you, man. My allergies have been messed up. My allergies messed up. I hate. That's the only thing about this time of year I can't stand is the allergy crap.
Because this new microphone I just paid $170.81 for. So hopefully, and it's out. It says it's shipped. So
you guys stop spending money on all that stuff, man. Just get a mic.
I just want to keep trying to. Well, hopefully this will be the last one that I. Good morning,
Salty.
Hopefully this will be the last one. You know, and
yeah.
For some reason, unless I was to hit the lottery and build a big studio, you know, like no, seriously, like if I had a lot of money, dude, I'd have a studio set up with a table and chairs, and I would have it set up like a just cool as shit. You know what I mean? Like room.
And try to be Joe Rogan.
No. I'm not. I'm saying not like that. Because I don't know if I'd want to interview people because I don't.
Yeah, because if you interviewed them, they would never be able to talk.
No, I'm just saying that.
That's what you meant.
I want to do like, I don't know what I'd want to do. If I had the money to do it and have a setup in a nice studio and set up like professional equipment and shit, man, dude, you could kill it, man. You could do anything. Now, if I ever interviewed people, I'd do it like on like this right here. I'd have them on screen. I wouldn't want them at my place. You know, some people, the reason they
you don't
have them at
place
because they're sponsored and they have a company. They're, you know what I mean? It's a company and people like travel to Nashville to go and sit on the Theo Vaughn show. You know what I mean? Like they go to Texas to sit with Joe Rogan. They go, you know what I mean? Like that's cool. But do you know what it would take to get people to travel? I mean, I ain't talking about celebrities. I'm talking about just people like you. Hey, I want to interview you. You gonna fly all the way down here just to get on my podcast?
No, I'll drive
or whatever. You know? I mean, that you'd have to have some money, and I'd have to pay your flight. You know what I mean? And
well, I don't fly, but
or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd have to pay your expense to get down here.
Especially nowadays, but it seems like for the last since January, planes and helicopters have been going down.
Oh God, that's sickening, ain't it, dude? Someone said there was one that wrecked upstate New York that ain't even like killed, like presumed 6 or unalive. Did it? Oh, okay. I was wondering. I just heard it, and I was like, I didn't hear it on the news. I heard it through social media.
The chopper blade fell apart. It broke in half.
No, I'm not talking about the one in the water.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, I knew about that. I posted about that. I'm talking about there was another one up in New York that's like 6 people are presumed unalive because a plane crashed in upstate New York, went down. They don't know why.
Heard about that one.
Yeah, I heard about that. And that's what I was thinking. What is going on with the airfare? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, who takes a helicopter tour? That's fine. Like that family that crashed in the Hudson. But what helicopter company doesn't fill up the fuel? Like, oh, we got to go back and get fuel. Why did you not have it full to start with? It's only like an hour tour, if that, you know what I mean, flying around.
Right.
And they were from another place, and they were, I think they started out in Jersey or something.
No, the one that went into the river, that family is from another country, I believe.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, the helicopter tours were from Jersey. Like, they start out there and go up, and then they go up the Hudson.
What I'm saying is, those tour places like that, who knows how they maintain their shit, man? You don't know if it's maintained well or not.
Exactly. But
I feel bad for those people.
I do too, man, because them little kids and shit. And not only that, I watched a video from like 4 different angles, and it's like, it's just flying, and the next thing you know, it's like the blades are flying off and shit. And it's like, what the hell hit it? You know what I mean? You don't see birds hitting it. You don't see anything hitting it. And I'm like, it's crazy, because then there's another video showing the repellers and stuff coming down and hitting in the water. And I'm like, wait a minute. But what's crazy is they ain't come up with a flotation device yet that, the helicopter turned upside down automatically and went straight to the water underneath, and they all drowned. Why can't you put something where you deploy, like, if it's emergency, you hit a button and there's like airbags or something comes out of the damn, the things that on the bottom, those poles, that you land on, would that not be cool? Like, some kind of flotation airbag to pop out of there or something, and make sure it floats upright and not underwater. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know how they could do that.
Well, the motor I see up on top where the repellers and all that stuff is, yes, there's trickiness. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, those metal bars that the chopper has underneath that it lands down on, like, they have helicopters that looks like, canoe things anyways. They go in the water and they land in the water and they go up. What I'm saying, though, have something built with those metal bars where if you push a button, airbags explode out of those bars and air up, and that way it floats,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
you would just think the way it's all craziness.
Salty says, I'm working on putting a studio inside my trailer so I could do some location interviews or at least some recordings. That's cool.
Yeah, man. Like what kind you talking about? Like your trailer, like you hauling around trailer, like in your bike, like when you go to locations and stuff, you can sit there and is that what you're talking about? I think that's what he's talking about. His trailer. That'd be the only thing I know he's talking about, like his pool trailer. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Like have a mobile studio. I mean, seriously. Studio. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have mobile, they pull their business and they set up like vendors and shit. You know what I mean? Why not have a mobile studio? People come in, better put an air conditioner though. People ain't gonna sit in a box trailer and freaking melt. But yeah, I mean, seriously, like that'd be cool. Like a little mobile podcast studio. Hey, come in.
He's not sure if I will have it done in time for May travels, as the choppers are consuming a lot of my extra time.
I was wondering if he's back to work. They're.
Hey, John, you look wrecked, brother. Go back to sleep. American Outlaw. No, I don't know. I slept, but I don't know. Mondays are just Mondays, man.
You know how it is. We calculated and watched these Mondays. They're really slow. Like the first of the week is a real, drag on a lot of people, and they don't want to get motivated or get moving. So, but yeah,
I need a break. I need a break from just a lot of things. I need a break from just
reality.
I need a break from reality. I just need a break from stuff.
Hey, have you ever thought about doing one of the shows? I was thinking, about those crystal skulls.
You sent me that thing. I watched it, or you had it on Facebook.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I wanted to send it to you, but it's too early.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was, and that's why I didn't send it to you this morning.
Hey, Easy, good to see you. Good morning.
What's up,
we could do something. We could do something like that.
The crystal, or it's called the something Hodges skull or something. They found
it's kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, because they made movies, and then what's his name? What was that guy's name? Tom Arnold or whatever? Or who is that guy? He's on there talking about it. Do you know he owns his own reefer farm?
Reefer farm? No.
Yeah, out in California or wherever
Chasing
he's at.
Ghost says if you all truck drivers, especially in the Houston area, I posted a video about the 15,000 medical cars that may be canceled. Oh yeah, I watched a little bit of that Chasing Ghost last
What
night.
is that
I watched a
about?
little bit of your video. So I seen
Medical cards or cars? Cards?
cards.
Medical. I don't know what
So,
you're talking about.
I'm not a trucker, so I'm not really
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not either, so I don't know what that stands for. I guess something to do with their medical stuff or whatever. But
maybe something made it invalid, their physicals or something. I don't know. I think it was something like that she was talking about. Take a week or two vacation from YouTube. You'll be amazed how
I think
yeah,
just kind of get refreshed back, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to take some time off of it here soon. Heading out this morning, going to pick up a side-by-side ATV, total impulse buy. Nothing wrong with an impulse buy, man.
No, as long as you like.
That's cool, easy. Side-by-side.
The
that's cool.
Impulse buys can be good. And what's up, Thomas?
Morning,
and some can be, you know, like, real shaky.
Not so good.
Like,
maybe
depends
I
on
should have done that.
how much somebody wants to, you know, sell it to you, how eager they are to get rid of something. You got to watch it. People are scam artists nowadays. But
DO2 physical card. Gotcha, Jason. Gotcha.
So do they have to have a separate DOT physical card other than their own medical card, you think?
Oh, yeah. They got to.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been through driving stuff.
So I guess maybe something happened where it's not valid. I guess whatever, if they went to a certain clinic or a certain place that does it, maybe it's not valid. That would suck if you did. Oh, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, like, well, I know they have to, or my brother back in the day, they still had a lot. They still had to have so many different things. Now, you know, if you're in a state like Florida or somewhere that has a no helmet law, you know, if you get pulled over, you're supposed to be able to at least prove you have at least $30,000 insurance coverage before to not wear your helmet, something like that, some kind of medical or something. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can read it. They've got laws for it and stuff.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, you got to have so much coverage before you can actually not wear your helmet. So, and that's just a good reason for them to pull you over. Hey, you didn't have your helmet. We're just checking to make sure you got enough, you know, your insurance is up to date. You got enough coverage to cover your.
What's the point of that, though? Why would you?
I don't know. I'm sure it tells
$30,000 coverage.
It's 15 or 30 or something like that.
But why?
What
does it matter whether you wear your helmet or not? What's it got to do with them? And
because they're looking out for us.
Oh,
whatever.
Really?
Yeah, they're just scamming and making money. But seriously, I believe it's true in certain states. You have to have so much coverage.
No insurance. You can't even afford insurance anymore. Insurance don't cover shit anymore. They don't want to pay for shit anymore.
No.
You know, that's one of the biggest. People act like there's all these scams that are so big. That's one of the biggest scams on American people.
It is.
Insurance is a joke.
Yep.
It's a joke.
These people are rich. They just keep getting richer and richer from these insurance companies. And
then they don't want to pay any.
And we have to pay. Yeah. And then when something actually happens, well, why have I paid for years and you don't want to pay for nothing?
And then they raise your rates.
Why? I tell you why. Because they live in a $10 million home. They have yachts. They have boats. They drive Mercedes and Land Rovers and stuff. That's where our money goes. They're living good while we're sitting here praying to God that they cover my fender. You know what I mean? That we shouldn't be worrying like that over insurance and stuff. You know, hey, I pay you, I expect a return, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, my minimum is a helmet and boots. My minimum is boots and no helmet. Sometimes I don't wear a helmet.
Well, glasses, you got to have them everywhere.
Well,
like, even in Florida, dude.
That's a law here,
man. Yeah, but I mean, it's law. I believe in everywhere. But Florida, during the rally and stuff, if you just move your glasses like up over your face, like if you're on your bike, even like pulled over and parked, and you move your glasses up, they'll ticket you and say, "Well, you moved your glasses off your face." Like they're rude, man. So my minimum is underwear.
That's something I don't want to see going down the road, man.
Good morning, American Uncensored. How you doing, bud?
Yeah.
No, but it's the truth, though, man. Like people don't realize before I go to any state, I look up their laws, or you know what I mean. I want to know, especially if I'm on a motorcycle, I want to know what I can and can't, have or do, or what I need to hide and conceal.
Conceal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You roll up on me, you may not ever roll up again. I mean, well, that's just the way it is. If you're gonna put my life in threat, you know what I mean? Like, shit, man, you don't roll up on a grown man and threaten him or his family, and shit. You liable to, especially when you don't even know nothing about the situation. But
don't roll up on me, man.
And there's a lot of them will try to get in your tour pack or your bags, and I'm like, no, my stuff stays locked pretty
Nobody
good. You know what I mean?
My shit.
No, I'm saying like they always try to. Oh, you're disorderly. Why? Because I spoke out of turn, asshole. You know what I mean? Or said asshole. That's not disorderly. Disorderly is a physical act. So
no, you can have disorderly conduct without it being a physical.
No, you have freedom of speech. You can call a cop a dickhead. That's not disorderly.
No, now there are laws where you can't do that. You can't speak to police officers like that. You got to show some kind of respect. You can't.
I'm not saying you've got to just disrespect them, but you have freedom of speech. You can say, "I'm serious, man." Now it may be California's way or Democrats
that in states, in different states.
Oh yeah,
because I think you can't.
Well, what they do is they say, "Oh, we have policies." Well, your policy doesn't trump the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution and all that. Like you have rights, and now. Whether or not you go to jail is a different thing. Right. They'll take you to jail and pin it on you no matter what. You know what I mean? And that's why I like to read the laws in any state I go through or whatever, because to see if they're a stopping ID.
You know what I think it is? I think you just have a personal vendetta against.
No, I don't. Nope, not at all. I not at all.
Obviously, you do.
No, I like to know. I like to know the laws in places I go. I like to know
that guy rolls up on me, man. You better not roll up on my ass.
I like to know where I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Oh, I wasn't talking about law enforcement on that. Somebody
I know, I'm just giving you shit, man. I'm just messing with you.
But what I'm saying is, anytime I travel, even with family, with my wife and kids, dude, I look up everywhere I go and what I'm going through because I got out of state tags and I don't want them just stopping an ID just to be doing it.
I've never had that happen to me.
Well, I ain't either, but I'm just saying I like to know things. You know what I mean? I like to educate myself on stuff. I really do. I like to educate myself on a lot of stuff, especially if I'm on vacation and be there for like a week or so. I like to know, kind of what kind of I can do and I can't do. I mean, education is important.
Have a great day, Quick. Thanks for coming in, brother. Spending some time with us. I appreciate you, man.
What's the saying? You attract more bees with honey? Exactly.
Supreme Court has ruled several times that you can curse at a cop and put them off. Yep. You're still going to take a ride though. Yeah, that's my whole point. That's my whole point.
I never start off like that. I never start off cursing there. I agree with that. I've always been respectful.
I agree you can do it, but the thing is, you're going to pay a price if you do it.
Well, yeah, you're going to, but like I said, I don't start off and like, why'd you pull me over, asshole? You know what I mean? I don't do that. I was raised with respect, and values and stuff, but I don't. Now, if you don't show me respect back, once I show you respect, then I may not cuss you, but I'm not going to give you what you want. You know what I mean? I'm not a sheep. I'm not going to comply.
Speech, but most times they still charge you with
disorderly. They make that up, or they make officer safety. There's no fucking such thing as officer safety.
You were being threatening.
I got to put you in handcuffs, so it's officer safety. You were being threatening
with your words.
You got 6 weapons around your waist, and I have none.
When you call me a total a-hole and a piece of fuck, yeah, you're threatening.
They consider that disorderly because you're in public. Well, then they don't understand. Well, yeah, I'm in public, so I have the right to be free speech, free press, free assembly, free,
For show as invited and built forward reservation.
Free
reserved now, just waiting on doctor to approve.
Free religion.
To cooperate with the deadline.
Freedom of assembly.
Hopefully, it all works out.
Free protest. Yeah, I do too, bud.
Hopefully everything works out for you. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I'm just saying there's no my approach when it comes to police is I don't use foul language or anything like that. But if they get nasty with me, I just give them the tone back. I won't say anything like, well, you're a dickhead or anything like that. I won't do that. But most of the time, if they're like that, they approach you in an aggressive manner and you approach them, you stay calm.
Yeah.
Well, if you stay calm, I've done this. It's happened to me before. You stay calm and you still respect them, then they start to bring it down. Then they start to calm down.
Well, they're supposed to learn to de-escalate. The first thing is to de-escalate any situation.
Well, see, I de-escalate them.
That's what I'm saying. Them. When you show them respect, like when you be courteous and talk decent, and
all right,
they have no
your ATV.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations on
have a good day. They have no reason to be, to do that. But some of them are just tyrants, but not just that. It's
want to see pictures.
De-escalate to them means, I got to have control first. We have, because I guarantee you, they're not being trained in the force, but they're being trained when they go out on the street their first few days with another officer. You got to be in control. You got to be in control. We have to detain them. We have to get ID. We have to detain. So them saying, we have to de-escalate means we have to control the situation. We have to be in charge. So to do that, we have to put you in handcuffs, which is torture cuffs, in my opinion. We have to put you in handcuffs before we can even start to de-escalate. So we have to get control of you and then say some bullshit that you're disorderly or, officer safety. Really? You got 6 weapons around your waist and I have none. So how are you, in danger? Dude, if you're that scared,
but let's flip
if you're that scared, you don't need the job. You need to go work at Walmart.
Wait a minute. Let's flip it on the other side now. These guys go out there every day and risk their lives. They could be shot at any time. Somebody could just kill them at any time.
I get that.
Firing them at any time. So you got to give them a little room, man.
You do. That's why they have certain immunity, and then certain situations they get it took away because they're violating people's rights.
Will you let me speak? Damn it! They're taught to handle things a certain way, and they try, a lot of people are like you, cop haters.
No, shit. I'm not. I got an uncle that was a cop. Great dude, but I'm not a cop.
Most of my dad's side of families are sheriffs. They still are, and they're cops. But what I'm saying is they have a tough job too, man. You got to look at their side of the story. You can't just look at your side and say,
well, no, but here's the thing.
But they are the way they are for a reason. You know what I mean? Because they get a lot of shit. And
I get that, but if they pull me over for speeding or a taillight, write me you don't need to get me out of the car. You don't need to search my car. You don't need to do all that. Write me a ticket and let me go. 9 out of 10 people get pulled out of the car.
When was the last time your car was searched, Ray?
Son, I've never been pulled over with a ticket.
Well, then what are you talking about then?
I'm talking about laws and like if you go on vacation, they were saying they're going somewhere. Learn where you're going. I've had one seatbelt ticket and I got it in my driveway. I'm not joking. I got a loop driveway, man. I got it in my truck. Started my truck, started around my loop driveway, and as I was going around my loop, it's a habit. I always do it. I grabbed my seatbelt and put my seatbelt on, and my 2 front wheels got in the road out of my driveway, and that state trooper was passing my house right here. And he hit his lights. So I just backed up and he wrote me a $10 ticket or something like that, 10 or 20 bucks ticket for a seatbelt. And I'm like, dude, I was in my driveway putting my seatbelt on. Well, your 2 front wheels, and I admit it, my 2 front wheels was in the road, but there was nobody coming. I was in the accident. I said, man, that's a habit. I put my seatbelt on as I'm pulling out, I always put it on like that. And he still gave me a ticket.
I had this happen to me once.
That's the only ticket I've ever had since I was 14 driving.
I had a 3-car garage and I had a big parking lot. Okay. And it was a parking lot around my garage.
What are you doing?
But it was mine. It was my parking lot. And I had pulled one of my cars out that I was working on and I was just burning rubber, I was letting them roast on my property. This cop pulls into my property and tries to give me a ticket. For burning rubber in my own property. I said, dude, this is my place. He goes, what do you mean this place? I said, this is my damn place. Those are my garages. That's my building. This is where I live. And I said, I'll burn rubber here all day if I want to. He goes, well, you can't do that. I said, look, you need to get off my property and leave. I said, because this is my property. If I want to burn rubber here, I will. Well, I could give you a ticket. I said, you ain't going to do shit. I said, you came onto my property. This is my property, and I'll burn and roast these tires off. And I proceeded to do it while he was there. And I'm like, you can't do a damn thing.
Hell no, he can't, dude, because that's the violation of the Fourth Amendment too. Yeah.
He tried to give me a ticket, and finally, I just kept going. Finally, he left. I said, yeah, go leave because you ain't got no authority.
I'm surprised he didn't cite you. I'm surprised he didn't cite you for like noise ordinance or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Because they think of everything, though, dude. Like it's a money racket scheme, dude.
Yeah. Because I told him to get off my property. I said, do something or get the hell out of here. I said, this is my property.
You could have won that in court.
Yeah. And I told him that. I said, I'll take you to court. You try to give me a ticket because this is my property.
Yeah, they're not allowed to they're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to come on your property. That did
piss me off. Yeah,
they're not allowed to come in your house without a warrant. They can pull up and ask questions. You don't have to answer them. You plead the fifth. But you say that right off the bat. Sir, I plead the fifth. First thing you ought to do, and the lawyer will tell you, first thing you ought to do if you get in trouble or get pulled over, video camera it. Because there's so many bad things they try to stick you with nowadays. The first thing you need to do is video. And the second thing is say, I plead the fifth. Say it. Get it on record, on camera, saying I plead. So anything after that it's not credible. You know what I mean? You tell that cop, I plead the fifth. And they'll sit and ask you questions and everything. You just don't answer it. And the only thing in Tennessee required when you get pulled over, listen. In Tennessee, if you get pulled over for speeding or, traffic violation, the only thing you're required to give them if you're actually being pulled over for a traffic violation is your license, insurance, registration. That's it. You do not have to get out of the car. You don't have to do none of that, man. It's a lie if they tell you. They'll come up and say, oh, we heard that we have bad theft in this area, blah, blah, blah. You know damn well that ain't. They're making up an excuse. Or we've had reports on it, they'll say anything because why? They're allowed to lie. They're allowed to manipulate the law to get you to say something. And not only that, then they say, why should we believe you? And it's like, really? You're allowed to lie to us. So you really think I'm going to take your word? Because they expect us to take their word because they got a badge. Well, that don't mean you're a good man. You're a good person and you're not a liar, because you're allowed to lie for your job. Why would I believe anything someone says? I mean, seriously, like I swear to God, I don't hate cops. I always nod at them. I don't go out of my way to wave at them or nothing, but I just, if I walk by them or something, I'll nod or something, whatever, be respectful. But not all of them, some of them push their limits and they try to, they're tyrants, in my opinion. Some of them, not all. I think that the badge goes to their head, man, and we all know it. We all see cops out there like that. And it's not every one of them. I will admit it's a few, but I'm just saying, know what you're allowed to do when you go places on vacation or different states, like when you're going to rallies and stuff like that. Know where you're going, know what you're driving into, because you don't know what their tent law may be different or something may be different on, you know what I mean? And you may get a ticket for no reason or for their reason, and something in your state you wouldn't get a ticket for. So, right. I mean, just educate yourself. Yeah. Just saying. Educate. Oh, yeah. I did get me a new chair. I got me a chair. So I'm in another chair, better chair. I'm more sitting up higher now instead of my other chair. So, it's not a gaming chair. It's like an office chair. So, it like raises up and down. It's pretty neat. What are you doing?
It's got a new chair.
So, and it's got wheels and everything, so I can roll it and, and turn it. Go on now. Go. It spins and everything. So it's pretty neat. It's not that, because my other chair was passed down to me. So, and it was just a rocker and stuff. And it just didn't really belong here on a, quit. Go play with the other toy.
Go play with your toys.
Well, it's like, really? I get on a live stream. You want to fight and argue with the cat, play like that, in right here next to me. And then when you stop, you want to go grab the only squeaking toy you got and play with it. So, I mean, can you not go in the living room and play? You have a whole house to run through and play. But no, right under my feet. It's the dog.
My dog's in the other room just sitting on the couch, taking it easy.
Yeah, not this one. She thinks that she has to be 24/7, like my energy. You know what I mean? Like she thinks she has to go, go, go.
It's a puppy, man. That's what they do.
I know. She likes to jump in the. She likes to jump in the. She's, I think, what, 8 months maybe now, something like that.
Oh,
I think.
Man.
Yeah, I got to go to town today. I got a few things to do. It seems like I got a big list, but then when I start doing it, it doesn't. But it always seems like, man, I got so much.
You ain't got
nothing to do. Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. Like, it always seems like I got a big list of stuff to do. But then, when I start doing it, it's like, well, I just got to run here and get some tags and this and that. I got to get some tags for my kid's car too. So.
Certain states and areas, the cops will look for specific cars or motorcycles just because they are made to be fast. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Well,
I guess I just ain't have really no bad run-ins with cops like you guys, except for that cop when I was burning rubber in my.
Well, I never had real bad run-ins. I just, had just got in trouble and. But other than that, like I've
been out of state in different states and they never bother.
Yeah, I've never had any issue out of state.
Ride my motorcycle through other states, they don't bother me.
No, I've never had issue like that with any of them with my bikes.
Salty Badger was doing a stress test and they hit me with that radioactive contrast and I started to gasp. Being that got admitted to the IC and they decided this with me, but I don't know what that was. Hey Rob, good morning. Good to see you.
Morning, bud.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had no real run-ins with them. Like I said, I just try to be respectful, and even if they come up as dicks, I still stay respectful because that makes them even madder because you're not
going to their level. Yeah,
not going to happen. Not doing.
You're not giving them a reason to take you to jail. What's up, Jamin?
Yeah. What's up, Jamin? Lost me peace. All right, brother. Take it easy, man. I don't think Jamin likes the vertical lies, man. You don't care for that.
Well, I mean,
in here. Hey, 2-4. Good to see you, man.
If he's at work and on his phone,
good morning, good night, good evening, whatever it is.
It'd be perfect. So,
I
said if he's at work on his phone watching it, it should be perfect vertical. I mean,
hey, everybody's got their thing, man. What they like to watch. No worries. I understand.
But
I understand.
Yeah, we all like our own little things.
State troopers in Massachusetts threw me down a flight of stairs and handcuffed. What?
I'm telling you.
That's not good.
Not everybody's had pleasant experiences. Like I said, I never had, even when I got arrested and went to prison, there was like 8 cars and red dots all over me with their, all their weapons and stuff. And I'm like, damn, dude, who do you think you're arresting? And that's what I asked him. I was like, who do you think you're arresting? I'm not Al Capone or nobody like that. Seriously, you would have thought I was this big, big time person. And I was like,
America's Most Wanted.
Yeah. And I mean, it was crazy. Like they had carloads, and I'm like, damn, dude, did y'all get like a bad report? Like I was going to go out shooting or something, you know what I mean? Or
going down in a blaze of glory.
Like some crazy stuff. And I was 24, first time I ever, had been in trouble in my life. And I was like, this is something like, and
they overdo it sometimes.
Yeah, well, they did because they had 11 counts of sale of schedule, controlled drugs. And I'm like, okay, so you had that many indictments on me. But then when my lawyer and we sit across from the DA and the 2 other cops that came in there, and they're like, yeah, we and all this. And they opened sealed indictments. And I was like, wait a minute. That ain't even my name, dude. You know what I mean? Good morning, Sid. And he's like, what? And he's like, hang on. Them officers like, we know this is you. We pulled you over in such and such a vehicle. And I'm like, I've never owned that kind of vehicle in my life, dude. I don't know who you think I am, but you got the wrong person. So I pulled my license out of my wallet, give it to my lawyer. My lawyer scoots it across the table. And the DA is looking at it, they're going through it, looking, trying every way in the world to place my name with that name on those indictments, you know. And I was like, dude, I heard that cop. He said, we may have indicted the wrong person. I said, may hell. My lawyer said, yeah, give me those indictments. So all 10 of them had different names on them. Only one of them had mine. So he took all 10 of those. They couldn't serve them on the other person because they had already unsealed them and served them on me. So he took all 10 of those indictments and dropped them in the trash right there in front of him. He said, you can't charge my client for these. He said, this ain't even him. You got the wrong person. And so we ended up making a deal because they kept trying to give me like 8 to 10 years and ended up making a deal 3 years in prison. So I went to prison. So yeah, they got mad. That's why they wouldn't go down on the deal. That's why they wanted prison time out of me, because they got pissed off because they indicted the wrong person. My lawyer knew it. I knew it. They couldn't pin 11 indictments on me. So
yeah, jackasses.
So I went to the pen for 3 years. So, you know, it is what it is. And I still, to this day, I've still never been back in trouble or nothing. Still never been pulled over. I wasn't a criminal. That's the thing.
So
they thought they were getting this big hardened criminal, and they didn't.
Was you charged with felony, or was
yeah?
You
oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm yeah. I was charged.
So can you carry a weapon?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can carry one. I mean, I don't supposed to, but I do. Yeah, you can't, but don't mean I don't.
He didn't say that. He didn't. I
don't care who knows it. You damn right I carry one. I'm a grown man. I got children and a family. You think I'm gonna let anybody disrupt that? Hell no.
Paid an attorney $1,500, and my case was dismissed. My attorney then was
care what anybody.
English.
I don't care who heard me.
Named Sir Peter Robert. Gotcha. Yeah, I've never had any kind of run-ins like that. I was arrested one time when I was a kid for disorderly conduct. I went to jail. I went to jail for a little while for that, but that was minor stuff. So that wasn't when I was an adult.
Wow.
So that was all.
I mean, I feel like I still have. I'm not a violent offender. None of that. Which I know it's against, the laws are the law, but still, I still feel like, in my own opinion and mine, I have the right to defend my life in any means necessary.
Yeah,
I'm not going to stand there and let somebody kill me.
Yeah, but if you're doing something to break the law,
well, but still, anybody can walk up to you and do you harm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be on vacation and somebody Looney Tune come up and try to harm you. You know. I mean,
like I've told you a million times before, I don't walk out of this house without something. I carry everywhere I go, even into the store. I carry into the store. Doesn't matter if I'm going to the restaurant. I carry into the restaurant. My son's gender reveal yesterday, which I'm having another grandson. I carry a gun there. I carry a gun everywhere I go. Doesn't matter where it is. I have one. And here in I don't know how it is in other states, but here in Ohio, you can carry a firearm in the state parks. I don't know how it is in other states, but that's how you got to find out. You got to look into things and see where you can and can't carry.
Yeah, I don't even think you can carry one at Walmart, can you? Or can you?
Yeah, I carry one in Walmart. I open carry in Walmart. I open carry in a lot of these places.
I don't want nobody knowing I carry anything.
It just depends on where I'm at. And sometimes my shirt won't cover my holster, so it is what it is. So I just open carry, and they don't say nothing to me. But, I mean, yeah, you got to check in certain states what you can do and what you can't do. But in my opinion, it should be all 50 states should be you can carry wherever you want, because that's the Constitution. Yeah. The Constitution says you have that right. Yeah. So we're being kicked down the hole like always.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the real truth behind it. Right. If you don't practice your rights and live by your right, if you don't, we're going to slowly lose them. I mean, they're chipping away at them as we speak. You know what I mean? They keep trying to make laws up and policies and things look at the Second Amendment, man. Just like that law, like California, other places, like they have completely killing it, the Second Amendment,
Yeah, but they've been ordered by the Supreme Court to not do that, but they ignore the Supreme Court. They ignore it, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
New York does the same thing. They ignore the Supreme Court.
That ain't right.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to win a case with a judge in California when they're all, against you? I mean, really, it's
and the problem is the Supreme Court won't pick up the case, so then you're stuck. So you're screwed, you know.
Yep. And then you get a charge or whatever.
Well, I can tell you this much right now: I don't plan ever to be in California, so I'm not
No,
worried about what the hell goes
me
on there.
either.
I don't
Or
plan on ever
New
being in
York
New York.
either.
New York can kiss my ass. California can kiss my ass. All those places can kiss my ass. I'm not going there anyway. So here in Ohio, they're pro Second Amendment, so we don't play that game here.
Well, I mean, what's sad is our forefathers, George Washington, all of them, Ben Franklin, all them people that wrote the Constitution, they were government. They wrote it for the people because they even knew their self was corrupted and they would be corrupted. Not them, but they would know the government would be corrupt and the people needed rights. And that's why they wrote the Bill of Rights and all that. I mean, what's crazy is when the government writes something to protect the people knowing from them. You know what I mean? I mean, they knew that they were going to be corrupt, government. And they knew that the people, I believe they knew this country was going to grow more. And when they wrote the Constitution and stuff, I believe they knew that, the people needed a leg to stand on because they knew that they didn't want them to take over. I mean, and just run us, like sheep.
Sheep. Trample all over you, man. If you let them, they'll trample all over your rights.
Well, they do a lot on the fourth and the first, That's why I said you got to practice them or you'll lose them. They slowly chip away at them, man, and they'll take them if we ain't careful. I mean,
yeah, man. I agree. Yeah, I've never been a fan of shoulder holsters either. I don't like shoulder holsters. I use a pocket holster. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I use a pocket holster. That's what I use. My holster goes in my pocket, in my front right pocket, and that's where it sits.
You got a pocket holster?
Yeah, I use a pocket holster.
So, I mean, it goes in your front pocket?
Yep. It's a pocket holster.
Well, mine goes in my front waist, so.
Yeah, I don't like wearing anything in my waist. That bothers me. So I wear a pocket holster. But when I carry, I only carry a 38. I don't carry my 40 or my 9.
Yeah.
I don't carry those. They're heavy, man. Too heavy.
Yeah, and then they're just,
bulky and heavy.
Yeah.
So I carry my 38. That's what I carry.
And you got open carry, though? Where you're at? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. An open carry.
Yeah. Here, too.
I was standing in Walmart. I was open carry. I was waiting on my wife, and I was leaning against something. I don't know. And I got that time I was carrying my 40, and it's just sitting out there wide open. Sheriff comes walking by me, gives me a nod, and walks on. They can't do anything to you. Now, Walmart could, if they wanted to be a jackass about it, they could say, well, you're not allowed to carry that in here and make you leave because it's their business, and they have a right to do that.
You never had a cop come up and say, son, I need to see your license?
Nope. I've walked by a ton of police officers around here, and they never bother me. Never say two things to me. Never give me any trouble. When I walk the dog around the neighborhood, the cops come around, and I got my gun hanging out. Nobody says shit to me.
Well, I think that, like in Tennessee, they did demolish some laws about, you had to, like, certain license you had to have, and like maybe you don't have to have some, like permit or something. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, we have open carry here and concealed carry, and we're constitutional carry. You don't have to have a
permit.
To carry.
That's what I was wondering. I think it's the same here. I wouldn't.
Now,
I would look it up, but I think we do have that here.
But if you're out of
state
and come here, you can't constitutional carry. But if you're in state and live here, you constitutional carry. But I have also a concealed carry permit. So when I go to other states, they accept Ohio's carry permit, so I don't have any problems in the other states with carrying a firearm.
And that's why I like to look through the states I drive through because, you never know. They may not be a certain state that allows anything, or whatever.
Right.
So you got to be tricky. You got to, I mean, if you're traveling, most time you're on the interstate, getting gas on the interstate. So as long as you're not like breaking any real laws and speeding like outrageously crazy on the interstate, you should be fine. As long as you're, doing, driving the right speed. And, you know, cops, I had a cop tell me one time, he said, we're not looking for the dude speeding. You know, we're looking for the dude doing,
taking it easy.
Yeah, we're looking for the guy doing 71 and a 70
pocket holster.
and then dropping down to 69. You know what I mean?
My pocket holster. My pocket
We're looking.
holster.
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Yeah.
It goes right here.
Yeah, that is small, ain't it? That's not bad.
Pocket, and then
So it don't even look like it.
Yeah, my weapon goes into my pocket like that, and there you go.
Is that a revolver?
Yes, sir.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. Those don't jam, do they?
No, they never
That's
fail
the
to
thing
fire.
I love about a revolver, dude.
Never fails to fire, my friend.
They will not jam like a
what I
9mm or whatever, you know.
A lot of people say, oh, that's a 30-S white, but you know, look at that 38 round.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to stop.
Tell me you're going to,
I got quick reloads that I carry.
The hole coming out of your back is going to be monstrous. Softball size, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, don't complain about my my 38's going to stop you. If that don't stop you, nothing's going to stop you.
Well, like I said, if I don't get you with the short game, I can get you with the long game. Trust me, I got enough. I got enough practice. I can shoot walnuts out of trees and acorns. I learned on 22s. I mean, I gotta, you know, I like I said, if the short game don't get you, the long game will. So. Especially if you're on my property and you take off running. Oh, I got you. Yeah. I get you before you get off my property.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got a long game.
That's what you carry.
Now, it may take me, you know, a few minutes to load the muzzle loader, but I could get you with it too.
I get you with that too.
Well, yeah, I got a nice muzzle loader. But
why would you have to wear a long shirt to cover it, Thomas? See, I don't have to do that. I walk everywhere. I go.
It's just everywhere. And some people just don't want you knowing they got it.
I have no problems.
Because if I'm into an argument with a dude and he's got friends standing around or 2-3 people and his group of people, and I notice there's a, you know, that on his hip, the other guy standing behind him waiting for shit to jump off. Guess what? That's the first dude I'm taking out is the guy with IC with the weapon because he's going to be the first to pull. I'm going to take him out first before I even, you know.
Well, for one thing, I'm not really going to be in that situation.
Well, no, but I'm just saying if there's a situation,
thing,
you know what I mean? Like, for instance,
most people don't even notice that it is a firearm. They think it might be a phone.
Well, that's what I thought. Like that case looked like, you know.
Most people don't even notice you have it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's sweet. Like when it's in my pocket like that, all you're seeing is this right here. That right there.
Yeah.
That's all you're seeing. So you don't know what that is.
I've got a 410 Cobra too. You ever seen one of those? I got it put up a 410 Cobra. Oh, it's you would think it was the big, you know, 357, whatever, you know, it's the big gun like that. But it's a 410. I got shells and birdshot in. I got different shells. I got slug, and so I can use slugs, shells, and I can use birdshot. And it's huge though, man. It's heavy, big, but it's nice. It's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, my kids even believe in it, man. My daughter, well, you seen that 9mm that she just got here a while back. She got the cow printed, you know, stuff on it. And I teach my kids right, you know, they learn right. They've been, you know, they've had a mini 22 or whatever, and a BB gun started out, you know, with a, you know, their whole lives, man. They love it. And that's a good thing. If you teach your kids the right way, like especially me, because I have daughters, you know, they need to be able to have self-defense because they're female, man. I don't want them going through life and worrying about, you know, and I don't teach them to be paranoid either. They live their life and stuff, but they're also I can't get it out this morning. They're always aware of their surroundings, I should say. You know what I mean? Like they're not paranoid. They don't walk around in paranoia or nothing like that, but they do.
Nice, Salty.
You know, they do know their surroundings. I've always taught them to pay attention to things, you know. Always pay attention to your surroundings because you never know, man. Especially being female and out like that, young girls.
Yeah.
And it don't even have to be a grown-up. It could be a young person that does something stupid, you know, I mean,
that's funny. Salty says or Grumpy says I was at an outdoor eatery, and my 10 millimeter 1911 was fully exposed, and a female cop was walking by, stopped and asked my wife if I was compensating for a lack of manhood. I laughed my ass off. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. They don't give me any grief. I've never had any grief from anybody, from any police officers. When I get pulled over, I'll say immediately to them, I have either whatever I have in the gun or whatever I have in the car, where it's at in the car. And they just look at me and say,
And they don't ask for license?
No, they don't. They just say, I don't care. It's like, just leave it wherever it's at.
Shit, that ain't Tennessee Highway Patrol. They're like,
Yeah.
need to see
I
your
was down in
license or
Kentucky.
this and
I was
that.
down in
You know, I
Kentucky.
need to
I was
get
down
out
in
of the car.
Kentucky. I was down in Kentucky. Was it Middlesboro? Where was I at? I was down in Kentucky for vacation. Took the bike down, but I trailered it down that time. And they had checkpoint. It was like some holiday weekend. I think it might have been Labor Day or something. And they was having checkpoints down there, the state Kentucky state troopers, whatever. And here I come up on it, and he stops me, and they're checking, looking in the car, see if you've been drinking. And I said, well, I just want to inform you, I have a gun sitting here right to the left hand of my side, in the door, right here to the left. He goes, I don't care about that. He goes, everything good? You've been drinking tonight? I was like, nope. He goes, all right, see you later. Hold on. They don't care, man.
Well, I can tell you, certain places in the South is still country. They don't really care. You know what I mean? But then you got certain little places that they do, or they try to thwart, you know what I mean? Something. And of course, closer you get to the cities. All right, buddy. And the closer you get to the cities, though, it's like
different. It's a different story.
Yeah, it gets completely different. But now in my town, I don't think someone would have to worry about it unless they were causing trouble or something. If you just got pulled over and you had it on your hip, they're not going to say much. But now certain places like you go like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, we're country up there, but it's still it's visitors and vacation people. I don't know how they would react to you.
That I carried it through there.
Well, I know you can, but I'm saying like walking through those stores and all that stuff.
They've seen it with me. They've seen it on me. Never said two things. Never had a comment from anybody down there. No police officers or nothing. Never said shit to me.
Well, I mean, with the laws that they pass, they shouldn't say anything.
I've seen guys down there open and carry even more than I do, and they just walk in and out of those places like nothing. I mean, they just don't. I mean, it's your right, man. You have a right to do that.
Yeah.
I always stick my hands out the window when I am pulled over. Last time the officer asked if I had one, and I said no. There's at least 6 in here. I said, wait a minute.
No, not one, 6.
No, one. There's 6, and that's the thing here. I can go down. I could put all 4 or 5.
You shouldn't have to tell them though.
Yeah, I could put all 4 or 5 of my weapons on my waistband and walk down the street here, and they can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter how many I carry. I have the right to carry as many as I want to carry. So, they had all 6 of us out of the truck in no time.
I bet.
Oh shit! I understand.
I don't know
I understand why police officers get freaked out about that. I get that, and I understand that. But they have to know that you have a right to carry just as much.
That's right, and they have to respect those rights.
Carry just as much as you do.
They swear an oath. They swear an oath to protect the Constitution and protect the people.
Many sheriffs I know, they tell me, they say, look, you should always carry a firearm. You should have always a firearm with you because we can't be everywhere. And I have plenty of sheriffs tell me that. They're like, we can't be everywhere. We can't be in your house to defend you. We can't be there. He said, so you should have a weapon with you. And you should take, the class. And people should, especially people that's never been around firearms.
Yes.
I've been around firearms since I was a kid. So
classes are great.
But people that haven't and want to carry, they should definitely go to those classes and take those classes. Man.
Yeah, what's that called?
Know how to carry a firearm, know how to use a firearm. They need to go through that.
What's the class called? Now, when I was young, I took a
concealed carry class.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what it was.
Yeah.
But when I was young, I think I was 11 or 12. I took the hunt and safety courses and classes. You know what I mean? I got my license for that, for the hunt and safety courses.
And everything, sir.
I like to, I wanted to get involved with that stuff and know that stuff,
Right. That's right.
So, it's good to know things.
Yeah, they don't
sometimes they don't,
And that's what he said. He said we can't be everywhere all the time. And he said you have to take that upon yourself to protect yourself.
Well, I mean, you got to think of it though. Time it takes them 10 minutes to get to your place or 15.
Longer than that. We only had
That's what I mean. But I'm saying if you call and say, "Hey, I got an intruder with threat, with a gun or something," they're going to try to. Yeah, you don't have 10 minutes to wait. You know what I mean?
No.
You better take it upon yourself to defend your life. And I know we have. Now, Tennessee has stand your ground law. I don't know about a lot of other places, but
we do here too. Yeah,
we have stand your ground. You can in your person's place or your home, your car. And I always wonder. Okay, so that includes my car, right? So does that include my motorcycle? And do I have the right to stand in my ground if I'm on my bike and someone tries to run me off the road? I mean, how does that work? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Do I have the right to
you know how people have those little signs in the yard protected by such and such law?
Yeah.
Mine always had, all mine always said mine. I got them on my windows and everything. It says protected by Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
Come in here and I got something for you, man.
Exactly. Show up on my doorstep and you're not going to get off my doorstep.
Yeah.
They're going to carry you off. No, because I'm not just protecting my life. I have responsibilities of my wife and my children and anyone else that's in my house. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's the way I look at it. I have the responsibility as the man of the house to protect whoever's in my house at all times. I don't care what my record says. I don't care what a piece of paper says. I still, as a human being, I have the right to protect my family.
I had a guy pull a gun on me at work, and when the officer showed up, he asked why I was so calm. I say, the safety was still on, and his finger wasn't on the trigger. And then I removed the 12 gauge that was cocked with both barrels underneath the counter. I think you told me about that, Salty. Yeah. That's how you stay calm.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't do. They're not aware of the whole situation. Look at that firearm that he's holding. Look you could tell sometimes you could tell if it's even loaded. Sometimes even if it's not a revolver, you could tell. You got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Got to know what's going on. I never had too much trouble with cops except one. He was black and handcuffed me to detain me, but he kept trying to yank my helmet off without undoing the strap. I was like, "You stupid mother! Why would he try to yank your helmet off?"
Because they want to ID. They want to see. They feel like
see my face. Here's my face.
I'm telling you, man. Certain cops think that badge gives them the right over you completely. Where did you go?
Okay. I don't know, man.
I don't have a problem with authority. I just have a problem with tyrants. I
just try to remain respectful as
I do too. Now I say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I was raised to say that.
De-escalate anything and I've done that with them coming. They come up to my window all.
But you should know your rights.
But by the time it's over with, they're saying, "Okay, sir, have a good day," And if you change your demeanor, sometimes if you keep your demeanor respectful, sometimes they change their demeanor. You know what I mean? Because they don't know who they're pulling over. They don't know who the hell you are.
Well, no, I get that, but they can run. They already run the plate, so it's coming back.
Yeah, but that don't mean shit.
But
you might not be that person. You might not be that person that's on the plate. You might be a total different person in there. You don't know. Just like when they run my plates, when they put me over, they already know I have a concealed carry. They already know I have a weapon because it tells them that they know all that stuff.
Well, if you have the permits already and stuff,
it's
record.
There. They know it. They know it before.
So the window. That's the thing, though. I don't think they should be able to violate your rights just because you've been in a past. I've been, the way I was done in the past and the way I have a record. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean automatically you get to pull me out of the car and search me and search my vehicle and all that. I'm not in trouble. I'm not on parole. I'm not on probation. You know what I mean? Right. I served my time. I paid my debt to society. Leave me alone. Stop. You know what I mean? That I feel like they violate so many people because, he's been in trouble, before. We got the right now. Now that's their excuse. That's their way into getting them out of the car and doing that. Sir, you got drugs on? I smell marijuana. Now even the Supreme Court is saying, which they still do it. They said the Supreme Court even made a law saying that's not enough suspicion just to smell of marijuana, because they do that. When's the last time you smoked? I smell marijuana. No, you don't, because I don't smoke marijuana, asshole. You know what I mean? No, I don't. And when's the last time you smoked? That's where they lie and get you caught up in stuff. They want you to, they're trying to build a rapport. Right. You say, I plead the fifth. You don't say anything. You don't sit and say, I don't smoke. I ain't done it in years. This and that. You don't say none of that stuff. You don't
self-incriminate.
No, because once you say, well, I ain't smoked in 10 years, you just admitted that you did smoke. So that gives them the right to freaking open your door and get you out. And search you for no reason. I don't care if you ain't got nothing on you or anything in your car. Don't let them do that. They're violating your rights because they're allowed to manipulate and lie to you. I'm telling you,
I've never smoked anything in my life.
That's what you tell them. Sir, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs.
Don't smoke. What do you do? Don't drink, don't smoke. No. I mean, yeah. Just try to just be respectful.
They run my name. They're like, oh, look, here's somebody we can try to get in trouble. Yeah.
I don't care. Damn it, man. Well, hope everybody has a good week coming up.
Well, I hope the weather gets better. For me, it looks like a little bit. So, like I said, today's supposed to be 77. Tomorrow, it's dropping back down to 52. And then the rest of the time, it's supposed to be from 67 Wednesday, or I think it said, and then mid to high 70s maybe. It's right now 64. So 60 Wednesday, 70 Thursday, and then from Friday to next Tuesday, it's saying 78 to mid to high 70s. So
yeah, next week it's supposed to turn, man.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying around here. Hopefully it does. I got to get out. I got to get out and ride. It's been a little.
I hope it does too, man. I hope it really just completely.
Not only that, I just like warm weather.
Yeah, me both. I've got to go do some things at Walmart too. I got to go to Walmart sometime today.
That's his favorite place, Walmart. Welcome.
No, it ain't. It's just the only place I got. Save-A-Lot don't sell the stuff I need.
Welcome to Walmart. Have a pleasant day.
Well, I would go to the hardware store or Tractor Supply, but they're 10 times higher. It's like, my God, man, how are you so? You know what I mean? Like, well, you think Walmart's expensive? Go to Co-op or Tractor Supply. That stuff is even more expensive.
Everything's expensive everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I guess I'll go back to Walmart because they're $5 cheaper than
$5 cheaper. Damn. I don't shop too much at Walmart. I don't.
Well, I have to. Like I said, we got Walmart and Save-A-Lot, dude. Unless we want to drive an hour out of town to go to a grocery store or something.
What the F? Two front brake rotors, $472. What the hell are you buying? What are you buying brake rotors for, man? That's expensive.
Yeah, like your supercharger or something.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for some rotors. Jeez. Wow. I just put front pads and rotors on my Ram and rear pads and rotors on my Ram. And what else did I do to it? A belt, serpentine belt, a couple other things. It was only like $650 for all of that.
That ain't bad. And did you do the labor or did you have it done?
Hell yeah. Man, I was a mechanic for 35 years, certified.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know if you did the work.
Oh, hell yeah. I did the work myself. I don't trust nobody else to work on my
I don't blame you. There's only one person I really trust to do my work, and he's been doing it for years. So
now my motorcycle, I don't even trust Harley Davidson. I trust my buddy.
Hell no. I wouldn't trust any of those dudes in that dealership to do your work.
I trust my buddy that he has his own shop. I got a shirt on right now. There's his shirt. Yeah, man. Pro Stock Performance Racing. He does all my work. I don't trust anybody. I trust him because I've known him for years, but yeah. I don't trust anybody to do work on my shit. I do it myself. Let's see what he says here. Street Glide. On your Street Glide? Two brake rotors for it? Oh, yeah. My God, man. Those little brake rotors.
If you buy something that is If you buy like Arlen Ness or something like that, oh yeah, dude. I don't now. They may be Harley. I don't know. He may have bought the Harley brand. I didn't think the Harley brand would be that expensive, but I guess they could be. But like they have Arlen Ness and a couple other different kinds, and they have the floating kind and all the designs and the ones cut out. A lot of those, man. I've seen some people though, man. They send those back because some of them will come, and if they're barely even warped or bent, or of course they don't work. I've seen some come and be delivered and ain't worth the crap because they either got damaged or when they first start coming out with all those, they got the rotor, they do all the designs and hose in them. They're real lightweight and they look like they're floating. Someone told me, said, look, best rotors they've ever seen, don't matter. You can pay $200-$300 for them. Don't matter. If you get Harley Davidson, if you get a Harley Davidson rotor is actually the best in an actual aftermarket rotor. And I don't know how. Yeah, the original rotors. I guess they're just made. They're not.
That's what he got. That's what he got. They were $472.
So so he paid probably $225 or $2 something each plus tax. Yeah,
gotta have brakes.
Rotors. Yeah. So
gotta have dependable, good brakes. You don't want rotors that are going to warp. Yeah, you got them from the dealership. All right, 2.4. Yeah, that's still expensive. Woo. Man, our motorcycles cost us a lot of money, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What we pay.
It's no cheap. It's not a cheap thing to have. I mean,
no, it's not. We were driving to my son's and daughter-in-law's gender reveal yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I meant to ask you about that.
There was a motorcycle for sale sitting there in front of somebody's house, and I was going to stop, and the wife says, "You ain't stopping." I said, "Why can't I stop? I just want to look at it." She goes, "No, you're not stopping. You're not buying another bike. You ain't getting another bike. That's it." I said, "What do you mean I can't have another bike?" I said, "I'm a man. I'll get what I want." She says, "You ain't getting another bike." I said, "Well, on the way back, I'm stopping." She goes, "Well, you're not driving on the way back. I am. So you ain't gonna stop anyway." I said, "Damn." I'm like, shit. I can't even have a second bike now. I was told I wasn't allowed.
How did they do the reveal?
I got a video of it. It's 2 minutes long, though. It's hard to send it.
Oh, okay. I mean, did they use balloons or a box, or did they
use box? And they pulled out letters, and then put letters on the board, and she wanted a girl, and I wanted another granddaughter, but
I don't blame you.
It was a boy.
So you don't have? Do you have a granddaughter?
Yes, I do have a granddaughter. Okay. Yes, but I wanted another granddaughter because I got.
Well, they got boys, don't they?
Yeah, I got 2 grandsons and 1 granddaughter, and I wanted another granddaughter, but now I'll have 3 grandsons. So, but between me and my wife, we have 11 grandchildren.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah,
I think that's what my mom's got, 11 or 12, just from her 5 boys.
Wifey wearing the pants, John. Put the smack down. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is,
She pulled out the whip.
Well, we just bought, a brand new 30.
Oh, yeah. $30-something thousand bike.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand. I respect that.
You got a brand new one sitting in the driveway. Why do you want another one? That's what she said. They don't understand it, though, man.
They don't get it. It's an addiction. No. Well, that's what I want. I want a 1-seater bike I could just roll around on and do my thing. But she's like, we don't need that. It's more insurance, more upkeep. And she's right. I mean, is she around here? I mean, I want her to hear me say that. But she's right, though. I mean, I get it. You don't need to spend all that extra money. You really don't.
Well, then you should say, well, then at least let me spend what I was going to spend on a second bike on my bike.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
At least let me spend what I was going to buy the other bike.
But the thing is, the Road Glide really doesn't need anything. It's
I know. You know what I mean. Like, here, I want to get a custom seat. I want to get a custom windshield. I want to get.
I'd like that. I'd like to have a custom seat.
That's what I mean. Nothing like major, like custom. Just things that that.
But hell, a seat will cost you $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but things that that you will need. Not like, I want to build a motor or this or that, but you want something to fit you and to suit your riding. You know what I mean? You want it to, you know what I'm saying? You want to be No, that's not true. Happy wife, happy no. They still resentment and everything else, man. They ain't a day goes by they're truly happy. You know what I mean? No way in hell.
No, that's true. There's always something.
Yeah,
That's all
it
right.
don't matter. They come home and you could look at them wrong or hey, I didn't, park the vehicle the right way in the driveway.
Yep.
What do you do? Just shit. It's just like it's built in their head to.
It's just like the wife makes
what did
me
he
drive.
mess up today?
My wife drives for a living, so she makes me drive when we go places. And she not all the time, but sometimes. But she tells me, "You got to turn here, you got to turn." I'm like, "Who's driving the car? Am I driving the car, or are you driving the car?"
I can't deal with that. I can't deal with backseat drivers.
My little helper in the car. Gotta make sure I turn. Gotta make sure I stop for the red light. Then I gotta take off. If I don't take off from the green light fast enough, she's jumping my shit. She's probably in there listening to everything I say. But that's okay. But it's like my little helper in the car.
I can't do that.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, I mean, we know how to block things, or I do. I know how to block things out and let it go in one ear and out the other. I never take anything real personal, so I've been good at ignoring a lot of people's shit, over time. So
you got to sometimes.
I don't allow it to affect my feelings. I don't live by my feelings and emotions.
You gotta let good things go.
Yeah, I really don't. A lot of people think I get upset and stuff when someone says something, whatever. Man, I'm not that kind of person. I let it roll off. I just don't
like drama.
No, exactly. I hate that crap.
I don't like that shit. I don't want no drama. I want peace, like Thomas is saying.
Man.
Happy in a relative term. I never used to describe myself. Just want to be content and at peace. Yeah, peace.
And that's the thing. And if you're going to come around me and not have that, dude, move on. Don't come around me because it's your choice to. You know what I mean? I don't want the negativity. You know what I mean? I don't want the bullshit, all the stuff that comes with your baggage,
Yeah.
I mean, or if just people want to do drama or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't pay attention to go on. I don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
I just don't.
All right, people. Well, we're going to hop off here. We've been on an hour and a half, and we got to get our Monday started. I got to get something to eat.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about, Thomas? The one about the one I posted about the land?
Yeah.
Exactly. Sick. No wife, happy life.
A good point,
no wife, happy life.
That's a good one. No wife, happy life. You guys are terrible.
But it's true though, man. Like you allow your energy to be negative or positive. Like I'm always tries to be positive. I always try to be in a good mood and have a good time. If I allow someone negative to constantly be around me, guess what? Then my energy is going to eventually turn negative, and I'm going to be unhappy. I don't like that.
No, I agree. I agree.
I really don't.
Anyway, guys, check out the Raysmotoife channel. We'll be there on his channel tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Eastern, 7 Central.
Yeah, to do the early morning rise and shine, early morning live, whatever you want to call it. And we'll be back here on Wednesday.
Just don't look for John to be on long, like all week or something, I think. Didn't you say you're taking a break?
No, not yet. I haven't made that decision, what week I'm doing that. And check us out. Check us out on Wednesday morning on Retired Rider, then back on Raysmotoife on Thursday, and then back on Retired Rider on Friday. And check out the rabbit hole as always. And I hope everybody has a great Monday and be safe out there. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care now.
Bye.